Dream freaking Theater, absolute legends in the progressive metal genre, and a band with a huge discography. 16 albums. This is gonna be one hell of a marathon for me. I've already listened to their first few releases and then nothing else after that. But yeah, this is probably gonna be a long video. So to not waste any more time, let's just get on with the albums. When Dream and Day Unite. For a debut, I think it's pretty good. I don't see this album at all going up there for me as one of their best. But for their debut, it's good. I can see why people would be pretty mixed on this one. It can feel a bit messy at times. Like for example, the Killing Hand and the way it started with that Witcher 3 ass opening, and I don't think everyone's gonna like the 80s sound on this one. Regardless, I came out liking it. A Fortune in Lies is badass, and that instrumental was pretty good too. Images and Words, masterpiece. Yep, already on their second album. Everybody knows how legendary this record is. Pull Me Under is iconic. Take the Time is pretty heavy for them while also being technical. Metropolis Part 1 is one of their all-time greatest songs. Wait for Sleep is beautiful, and Learning to Live is a fantastic way to close the record. This album is just a masterpiece. Enough said. Awake, no misses so far. This one's definitely not better than Images and Words. Honestly, I don't think there's gonna be one that tops that one. But this one isn't bad, not even close. It's just unfortunate it had to follow up the last album. I really enjoyed 6 O'Clock, Caught on the Web, The Mirror, and Scared. Falling into Infinity. Pretty infamous album amongst fans. I personally don't think it's that bad, but I definitely understand why this one is so disliked. I know Awake didn't do so well in terms of sales, so the record label told them to make this more softer to make it more commercial friendly, and I don't really mind it that much. This sure as hell ain't even the bottom of the list for me, but it's decent. Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. And here it is, masterpiece number 2. It's amazing how great the production is on this album, not to mention that there's some legit storytelling on this. A person going through hypnosis and seeing their past lives is pretty cool. And of course the tracks on here are masterful. Fatal Tragedy, Beyond This Life, Home, The Dance of Eternity, One Last Time. The only track I could say I don't really care about is Through Her Eyes, but that doesn't stop this record from being one of my absolute favorites from them. And it's a legit competitor to Images and Words. Well, that was all the albums I was familiar with the exception being the debut. That one was new to me. So every single album coming up, I'm going in completely blind. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. We are now at the 2000s era of Dream Theater, and for the first album, I quite enjoyed it. This album is supposed to be a double LP, but feels more like 2 albums mashed into one. I like the first half for the most part. It kind of lacks some consistency. Like, I really didn't care for Misunderstood or Disappear. The second half, though, I really did enjoy. Every single song was great. This may have been a longer album, but I didn't really feel the runtime. I just hope they don't get too much longer. Train of Thought. Wow, I like this one a lot. Easily my favorite from the 2000s so far. This one sounds way heavier, and the opening track As I Am shows it. Every single track on here except Vacant are longer than 10 minutes, but they don't overstay their welcome to me. There isn't a single moment in this album that feels dull, especially the last 2 tracks. God, I love them. Stream of Consciousness is one of my absolute favorite instrumentals they have made, and In the Name of God was a fantastic way to close the record. So yeah, I would say this is up there as one of my absolute favorite Dream Theater albums. Octavarium. Alright, back-to-back bangers. I would say I like Train of Thought a lot more, but this definitely has its moments. Root of All Evil is a great opener. I Walk Beside You is a nice soothing track. Panic Attack has some of the best use of the bass and piano, and despite the title track having a horrific 24-minute runtime, I still ended up liking it. Systematic Chaos. This one is definitely great, but not better than the last 2. This record can drag on for a bit. It's not horrible, but it's definitely noticeable. I really liked Constant Motion, The Dark Eternal Night, Repentance, and the second part of In the Presence of Enemies. It's a pretty great record, it just didn't blow me away. Black Clouds and Silver Linings. I feel like this one could be better. I still enjoyed it, but I feel like the past few albums have been better. Like A Nightmare to Remember is a good way to open the album, but I feel like in some parts it falls off a bit. And despite the super small track list, I feel like this album could have been shorter. The Shattered Fortress is my favorite song from this, but I definitely feel like this is my least favorite album from the 2000s. And now we're finally going to move on to the 2010s with A Dramatic Turn of Events. This one was great. I definitely think it's an improvement from the last album, although I don't have too much to say on this one. I really like the first half of this record. Build Me Up, Break Me Down, Lost Not Forgotten, This Is the Life, all great stuff. Second half was a bit weaker, but it still had its moments like with Outcry and Breaking All Illusions. But yeah, this is a pretty good start for the 2010s. Dream Theater. Okay, this one's an improvement. It has a pretty cool interlude-like opener with False Awakening suit. And then from the enemy inside all the way to Along for the Ride, it's all bangers. Illumination Theory is way too long, but it has enough good moments in it for me to like it. So far the 2010s has been giving me some good music. Let's just see if that continues with The Astonishing. No, like No, this is way too long and bloated. I can tell this is a very ambitious project for them, but it just completely falls apart for me. This robot crap I just could not get into. Trying to pull off scenes from my memory again, but it just fails at it. A lot of these songs just feel like filler to pad out the runtime as much as they can. There are a few tracks that I actually enjoyed in this, like A Life Left Behind or Raven Skill, for example. Everything else is just not good. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but I just cannot call this good. Distance Over Time. Jesus, it's like night and day between this record and the last one. This is so much better, and this is pretty short too, with a runtime that's less than an hour long. Untethered Angel's a really epic opener. Paralyzed is good, but am I the only one that thinks it sounds like a Diary of Jane from Breaking Benjamin? And S2N really gets me moving. I'm not really sure to call this one of their best, but it's definitely way better than The Astonishing. A View from the Top of the World. Now this is some more of the good stuff. For the first album of the 2020s, this is damn good. Still hasn't reached the quality of the 90s and 2000s records, but man, it's pretty close. And Answering the Call I shot up there is one of my all-time favorite Dream Theater songs. The sound of the guitar and keyboards together on that track is just ear candy to me. Well, we're finally about to be done with this freaking band. So let's finally finish this with their most recent album that came out earlier this year, Parasomnia. Great, but not amazing. In the Arms of Morpheus is a pretty heavy opener. Night Terror is a really good track that shows they still got it after nearly 40 years, and it definitely deserves its nomination. Broken Man, Dead Asleep, Midnight Messiah, it's all good. I just think the last album is a lot better. I'm just glad they could still sound this good after nearly 4 decades. And there we are finally done. This took me almost the entire month to make, although some of that time was used to take breaks in between records and also had to get a new pair of earbuds since my last pair broke. But man, what a freaking journey this was. There's a reason they are legends in the prog genre, and I could say they are easily one of my all-time favorite bands. Now to finally rank these albums: The Astonishing, Falling Into Infinity, When Dream and Day Unite, Black Cloud Silver Linings, Dramatic Turn of Events, Distance Over Time, Dream Theater, Parasomnia, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, Systematic Chaos, Awake, View from the Top of the World, Octavarium, Train of Thought, Scenes from a Memory, Images and Words. Next video will be on the thrash legend Slayer, and that is finally the end of the video, so now y'all can leave.